So I'm here with my beloved, and there's certain proofs that you can find um, of this world being, of our world being like this one that I've drawn, being very similar. Um, Sometimes you can actually know where some of the most giant rivers were. Well, the most giant rivers that existed, they existed at the same time, pretty much, except for the ones that exist now, which are different a bit from what they used to be then. Uh, Generally, uh, South America is one of the areas that probably changes the least. That's the least different. And I would say that the west coast of British Columbia, the upper coast, the Rockies, upper Rockies, those areas actually didn't change all that much. I would say also, also Florida would be another area as well. But you could tell just because the poles were now, the poles are in a different place, but you know approximately where these areas end up, lying on what on what part of the earth. So you have an idea. Um, you have proof of the pads of rock that existed also, the little geysers, the little seeping volcanoes that seep slowly up and create these chimneys and then create these rock pads on top. It almost looks like a mushroom. And this is in the giant marshes, the giant dinosaur marshes. And that's where actually you find the most of these. You also find some of them also in the marshes and in the mountains near the poles as well. So you tend to have a lot there too. Those areas tend to be, there's a lot of volcanic action. The reason there is because there's a lot of pressure. But generally, on the rest of the earth, all the volcanoes are just slow seeping, little geysers creating, little rock hills, and like I said, rock pads, especially in the marshes. That happens a lot. So you get that in the giant marshes. You get these little chimneys all over the place, and some of them still have the rock pads, and then you find lots of broken rock pads. So that's one of the things. The reason it's like that, well, it's because when the water is all over the earth instead of being in those ice continents, in those small areas, well, it puts a lot of pressure on the mantle, and you have all these lava beds, and the pressure the pressure of the water pushes those little lava beds farther and pushes them out quicker, and basically so it destroyed these little tiny little geysers that are popping up all the time everywhere and being stopped because the rock pad started stopping the lava flow, and then go somewhere else and go somewhere else. And this is a thing that dinosaurs used to use themselves all the time. I mean, that's some of the hottest areas in the world. When the world is normal like this, like I drew it, it's the warmest place. Temperatures tend to always be really stable and really hot, and you also get the effect of those geysers also giving off a lot of heat, and there's a lot of them. So it actually also makes that area. It's a very humid area also because they're swamps and they're marshes, So lots of water and lots of plant life, and it's just very, 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 lots of humidity in those areas. Very humid, so, and very hot. So that makes it even hotter. So this is where the dinosaurs would live, and they did go and sit on these paths, and they even left prints. I mean, it would happen every once in a while. I mean, it's really hot, and it could be a bit hot, and they'll venture on it, and whoops, and it was a bit soft. So you get that effect. You get that in rocks. You find rocks all the time, giant rocks with footprints of dinosaurs in them. It's like, okay. But that's why you get them, because sometimes they were a bit soft and they would have to run off of them, and some of them couldn't run off of them. Some of them would get burned first, you know. So, but it kept happening. I mean, for all the time that the dinosaurs could exist in that area. And, you know, it also would happen also a little bit in around the giant ice continents. So you'd have that effect. You'd also have these rock pads popping up everywhere here and there. And you also have to remember also there's sometimes gases and, you know, it releases a lot of heat, right? So lots of spas and hot springs all over the giant marsh one. And also, you find them all on the giant ice continents as well. And you find them also around the ice continents. So I mean, in those Antarctic mountains, you'd have that, and in the ice marshes surrounding the south ice continent. I don't know why you call it an ice curve, but anyway. So this on this ice continent, well, so you have it on it and you have it around it. So even the animals that were used to living in cold temperatures and they were a little bit colder in those areas, they would also have profited from the warmth from these rocks. So some of them would make the same mistake and would stick their foot in a hot rock. Basically, I mean, the rock isn't lava, it's just hot enough that if you're heavy enough, you're going to leave a print. So you have that around the ice marshes, so you might even find some where it's actually mammoths, you know? It's like, or they're just walking and they think that it's a rock and whoops, they step on it. The same thing for the dinosaurs. It's like they're just walking along in the marsh trying to get somewhere and there you go. So, and you would get that effect also on the ice continents. So with all the weird creatures, you would also get that effect too. Because you would have those rocks pop up too. But there, the rocks would be a bit different. They wouldn't be as, they would be like pads a bit in some ways. Because some lavas would take a long time to seep up to the top. But then, you know, it would create chimneys as well. But you get different effects because it's more like a lab. So with the water and with different temperatures and everything, you get different effects. You get different rocks that are being made, and you get more rocks being made like that, and more precious gems being made like that than we do now. So that's another factor. And so you generally on pretty much every marsh there's that effect, but I mean where it's most prominent. So, and you also have the effect that the Earth is composed of different elements and metals and minerals in different areas, and that these volcanoes also they create different rocks from one area to another. They create different colored rocks. They create different colored gems and different colored crystals. So you get that effect from one area to another. And also, like I said, there's more in some areas and there's less in others. So it's like you could live in an area and it was kind of a bit toxic and it wasn't the best area for you, but it would be a better area for another creature that was adapted to that. So, like the dinosaurs who did just awesome in the toxic giant marshes that are off of Antarctica and South America, they would have just thrived there. So you get that effect, and you also the competition between mammals and dinosaurs is quite obvious that mammals would have an advantage. Generally, I would say that mammal hunters have a better advantage than reptilian. So, except when the reptiles are under water or in water. They're pretty well in water as predators. Ergo, the giant crocodiles, the most giant predators, the most vicious, and they still exist. They still, not the giant ones, but, you know, crocodiles still exist, so you get that effect as well. I bet I could say more, but there you go. Also wanted to mention the giant rivers that come off of the giant ice continents. Some of them come off of there, go down mountains, and all the way into um, all the way down into Canada and the United States, and you get that effect also going into Upper Europe, Asia. So you get that effect today. You get giant rivers kind of running across there. Um, you also get some rivers that go across Antarctica and diverse into the giant marshes. And, basically, uh, the Earth is much better like this. There's a lot more stable temperatures, like I said before. So that actually makes a big difference too.